So on June 19th, I was home and I was spending time with family because Nexus was just heating up. And my fiance at the time was in South Africa filming a movie. And I was, on the road with Nexus. But when I wasn't on the road, I was at home raising my newborn son, and my mom was there helping out. So at this particular time, my fiance had to get permission to fly home to visit from South Africa. And that flight was over 20 hours, and she only had 24 hours to spend at home. Actually, might have even been 23. So in order to save time, I picked up my son from Tampa and we flew to Atlanta to meet her. And I remember we met and we went to this park, for my son to have a good time and just to spend some time together doing something. We weren't there long, and I get a phone call from WWE that I'm urgently needed to fly to New York to do a show at Madison Square Garden. And I need to leave immediately. Now, this is problematic because, like I said, my fiance has been in South Africa and only had 23 hours back in the States to see us. And I'd maybe only seen her for 2.5 hours at that point, and now I need to leave. The other problem is I don't have my gear with me. The only thing I have is my Nexus armband. I'm in street clothes because I'm at home. This is my personal time. I'm not at work, but I am wearing my Nexus armband because we were instructed to keep up kayfabe at all times. Like if a fan had taken a picture of me without my armband on, it was going to be problems. So, but I dug that part of it. It was kind of like a fraternity or something. It was cool to keep up kayfabe like that, at first anyway. Now, the other part is, though, that I now needed to fly to New York. And first I had to figure out how to explain this to my fiance. So I was trying to tell her. Obviously, you can imagine what her feelings were about this. And mine too, but I'm put in such a tough spot. Like I didn't know this was going to happen. And then at first I tried to ask, is there any way they can do this without me? And the person I was talking to explained to me, no, this is a Vince call. This is Nexus. You guys are the hottest thing right now. Like you have to be there. So I tried my best to explain to her like how important this is. And I remember in that moment thinking, I hope this is worth it, but one day I'm going to tell this story. I'm going to tell this exact story. And I remember that. And this is that time. But so anyway, how did I get out of this? I had to call my mom, who was staying with me in Tampa. She was at my house, and I had to have her pick up my wrestling gear, put it into a bag, and fly to Atlanta to meet me. So then she could take my son and fly back to Tampa while I flew to New York to do this show, while my fiance flew back to South Africa to finish filming a movie. It was wild. It was a lot, but this was my crazy life at the time. And then when we got to the show, this was awesome though. Like this was so cool. So I have a really cool story about John Cena from this event that I'm going to share with my firm members, AKA my channel members, those who've signed up for memberships. But yeah, look for that coming up. But anyway, this show was awesome because I remember I feel like we had a police escort, like when we got close to the building, and then they let us drive our car into Madison Square Garden. I've never seen this before. We drove up and like around and through the concourse, and we parked backstage. So imagine what I'm saying to you. We had rental cars, 2 of them, and they're packed with the Nexus guys. We drove inside of Madison Square Garden. We did not take elevators or stairs up. We drove up around the building and parked backstage. This was wild. And I remember we got our gear on real quick and we had to run into the main event. Like this all happened so fast. And the pop was huge because people didn't expect to see the Nexus. We were new at this time. They'd seen us on TV, and this was one of the first times we showed up at a live event as the Nexus and did what the Nexus does. So it was a really cool moment. And again, I'm going to share this story about what happened afterwards with John Cena with my channel members, the firm. This was so unique. If you think about it, I mean, Cena's bus was probably across the street. Nobody gets to park at Madison Square Garden, let alone inside the concourse at Madison Square Garden. Like, this was so baller. We this is what I'm saying. We drove up backstage. Like, we could just get out and walk right into Gorilla. This is like the equivalent of a private jet or a helicopter landing on top of the building that you have to perform in. Like, this was awesome, unprecedented.